والله ما دمتم يا أيها النصارى ترفعون الصليب في دمشق والله لن نترككم وسنجاهد فيكم بإذن الله عز وجل.
And not only are these jihadist groups the problem, but the Syrian government itself has played a role in the suffering of Christians. Even before this crisis, Syria was one of the worst places for Christian religious freedom. The government heavily restricted evangelism and banned Muslims converting to Christianity and other belief systems. And eventually, the government started imposing a curfew on the churches, which made a lot of Christians worry that this was just the beginning of immense persecution. And
all right, enough. All right, stop. Look, What Do You Mean is a great channel. He's spot on with a lot of this stuff. It's good. It's solid. Just great points in some of these areas. And it is bothering me and too many other people here where I'm just like, all right, fine. I'm gonna just put out a couple thoughts on this because they're important. And Muslims, anyone who practices that faith, they need to listen to this. All right? It's like the other Christians, like what I tell the other Christians. Present your faith, practice it, don't force it and shove it down other people's throats. This is personal belief that you have no right to just shove into other people's lives. Or, in extreme case, like with the 70 beheadings here, you are making it lethal. We hate you because of something personal that you decide to do. Come on. This is stupid. Going out of your way to go hurt or kill other people because of what they believe, it is stupid. Honestly, there's only like a handful of ways of dealing with this without things getting worse and breaking cycles while you're at it. Because there's a lot of generational issues over in the Middle East. Violence happens, which starts up other violence, and it just keeps going. Christians, at least, are trying to do the right thing by saying, hey, you know what? We are not going to view you as the enemy. We're going to try to live in peace and just say, hey, we're going to do our own thing here. And maybe we have something strong later in our hearts that we're going to do something about and witness or whatever. Coming from a church where people want to I can't say the word, where they want to go out and preach the word, I understand that there is a time and a place for this sort of thing. And there's also different strengths to this. You know, you've got someone who's great at big crowds and you have those who are great with the whole one-on-one thing. All right? But still, taking people out because of what they believe, can you take a step back and just realize how stupid that is? You're making something very personal to someone and saying, this will decide if you live or die. Faith, religion, come on. I've had good conversations with Muslims who were not radicalized, who were not angry and hateful to other people. Like, there's only a handful of ways of dealing with this. And unfortunately, at the end of the line, people are going to have to stand up and say, we're going to do something about this if you persist on taking people out because of what they believe in. I thought about sitting down and reading both the Quran and the Book of Mormon, since I've talked to Mormons and Muslims alike. I've talked to a lot of people, all right? But when it comes down to it, I'd rather just have genuine conversations with other people who believe this stuff, who actually want to sit down and talk, not just wave weapons around and threaten. Now, to be honest, with my own experience over in the Middle East, and with the one story that highlights other former soldiers who were in my old unit who encountered demonic and supernatural entities over there, I have to say that there is that in some of those areas. So like where there is hatred, there is death, there is killings, there are some entities out there that are provoking others into making not just stupid decisions, but decisions that will end people's lives, and sometimes their own. Because again, a cycle of anger will continue. Now, there's other people who have noticed that there are seasons over there for like planting, resting, planting, and then harvesting, which would include taking other people out. Small little side point here. I got done with the gym. It's like crossover between the gym and church, whatever the equivalent for churches in your language. At the end of the day, you're done. You're tired. You want to go home. And frankly, it's like a lot. The older you get, the more tired you get. You just want to live in peace. You're just like, I'm done with this garbage. Frankly, what I've done is actually pretty simple. Talk to those who are on my left and right, and talk to some of the struggling the younger men, mostly. Now, some of the younger women I've talked to, and I've had less success with them. As a whole, I have no problem with Islam's. Once I realized a couple of things, I was like, all right, cool, they're not the enemy. But there's definitely those radicalized elements out there that want to be the enemy, who want to force your hand to go do something about it or them. I would say practice what you preach, but these radicals, they are practicing what they believe on, which is culminating in taking people out. Not even worshiping who you believe in and whatever has to do with your prophet Muhammad. I don't read the Quran. I don't know what's in it. But what I've heard about it is that there's a lot of violence, a lot of anger, a lot of retribution, which adds to the whole cycle of violence continuing. At somewhere down the line, enough is enough. Someone needs to put down their foot and say, we're done with this. We are done with all of the lives being taken. Honestly, when I joined the military years ago, I was pissed off. I was ready to go take out some terrorists. For me, I wanted to protect and defend. A lot has changed, and I realized people can walk away changed and putting down their weapons and saying, you know what, we are better than this. We are better than this. We see more of what is either truth or enlightenment. I'm going to talk more about Gnosticism in this one point of view, this one movie that's really cool. Truth versus illusions, or something along the lines of that. I'll cover that later. It's really cool. Oh my word. And the last one is responsibility. Responsibility to your faith, to a man or a woman who believes in what you believe in. So you're going to practice what you preach. It doesn't matter what faith you are. You believe something, you're going to practice it, or you're going to be a fraud. You're going to be a hypocrite. You're going to be someone that says, oh, look, they're making the rest of their faith look bad. Or worse. This isn't 2008. This isn't 2011. This is not the year of being in Iraq dealing with terrorists. Sometimes, and I know other veterans will agree with me on this, where they get triggered and they're like, dude, I'm back here. What the hell? What happened? And you're looking around here and you've got those panic attacks. You've got those flashbacks where you're just like, it's real. You're back there in the zone again. I don't know how much more I can talk about this, to be honest. Not necessarily because it's triggering, but because I'm running out of things to try to use to, outside of the scripture, things outside of scripture and the Bible to use to try to portray that what you're believing, what these radicals are believing when they're going after Christians and Jews, that's not natural. At the end of the day, that's not natural. You have your anger, then you have something provoking you into anger. There's other healthier ways of taking your anger out than just taking people out. I just got done coming from the gym here. If you want to struggle, an everyday struggle, improve yourself. Actually, that's one of the best ways to improve yourself is by taking out your anger, your aggression. And if you feel like you need to take violence out, go to the gym. There's a right time and place for that. Or go to the firing range. I don't know what they have over there. Over in Iraq, I don't know. We had fire ranges over in Iraq that were mandatory. You're going to keep your aim up. You're going to go here on these days and you're going to practice until you qualify. And not so nice term. Not so nice words, excuse me. Anyway, I've been silent about this issue for years, but frankly, after this whole thing, I'm saying, hold up. I'm gonna say something about this. To the Muslims, to those who believe and practice Islam. And again, I need to say, I've had some good conversations with them, and I appreciate what they can bring to the table in a conversation that isn't full of, I hate you, I'm going to take you out, here's my weapon, bend over. I don't want to get angry. The nice thing that I've come to realize is it takes forever for me to get angry. Once I get angry, I stay angry. I'm sure it's like that with other people, you know? When push comes to shove, long enough, good men are going to stand up and do something about it. Too many lives are being lost. Don't be responsible for taking other people out. All right, I'm done.